So let's talk about how to get a six-pack. So before even scripting this video, I decided in order to confirm the knowledge that I had, I wanted to put it into practice. So in 1 month I went from 160 pounds down to 140. This was done because I do not like the idea of spreading information that I myself am not completely 100% confident in. Can I tell you how to get a six-pack without having had one? Yes, absolutely, but my conviction would feel somewhat weaker because of it, and that I'm not content with. So, with the benefit of that experience under my belt, let's plough forward and get you on the road to your dream physique. The first step to achieving anything should be understanding, because having a thorough knowledge of what needs to be done to achieve your goals ensures that any time you dedicate to the task at hand is not wasted. So, to get started here, we first need to know what is a six-pack. A six-pack, as it's conventionally thought of, is what happens when you can see the abs. It's also worth noting that the term abs refers to a group of muscles, not just one thing, is what happens when you can see the abs clearly defined on the body. This is a result of low body fat percentage. Now this varies from person to person, but generally speaking, men will have a decent looking set of abs at around 10 to 12% body fat, whilst the ladies will be sporting an enviable physique at about 18 to 20%. The most important thing to keep in mind while moving forward is that everyone has abs. This guy, everyone has abs, because if you didn't, you'd be watching this video like this. I've developed issues. Every human being has abs. The reason not all of us have six-packs, or again, six-pack is used as a generalization because some people are weird, is because for the vast majority of the population, your abs are obscured by a very stubborn and in most cases very healthy layer of body fat. So let's start off with a question. In my transformation from this to this, how much time would you estimate per week that I dedicated to abdominal related exercises? Not specific reps of punches, sit-ups or walking raises, anything like that. How much time overall? And scroll down to the comments, hazard a guess, if you like. Find a comment that says, oh wow, the answer was quite surprising, Steve's so intelligent and manly, and I bet his penis is very... The answer is none. Nothing. Zip. Nada. Not a single second in that entire month that I spent pursuing that physique was dedicated towards abdominal exercises. And that may be surprising for a lot of people, and the reason that is surprising is because of this. The overabundance of six-pack in 30 days, 60-second ab work, videos and media is insane. I would tell you this, anything that tells you that doing crunchies or sit-ups will get the average person a six-pack is either uninformed or they want you to buy something. No, you absolutely do not. The abdominals are one of the most heavily utilised muscle groups in the entire body. They stabilise your core when you're standing up, sitting down, lying down, walking, running, jumping. They are constantly in use, and I can guarantee you that your abs and mine in this sexy manly picture are aesthetically somewhat similar. The most important factor in the clarity of the abdominal muscles is body fat percentage. Yes, you absolutely can, as with any other muscle. And training your abdominals can improve the clarity of them and their definition at slightly higher body fat percentages. With really good ab work, for example, a guy might be able to get decent abs at as high as 14% body fat as a ballpark. Because for the vast majority of people, the reason that they do not have the physique that they want is because of body fat percentage. And doing crunchies is not a good way to solve that. It's just not. And I don't care how many sit-ups, how many crunches a guy does, if he's at 20% body fat, he ain't gonna have good abs. Ah, curses, my abs are obscured by a layer of body fat. I know. I'll do a load of ab exercises so that my abs look better underneath that layer of body. So the time that hypothetical person would spend on the ground grinding out laps of sit-ups and crunches would be far better spent walking, running, swimming, jumping ropes, something better suited to burning off that body fat. Now here's the logic for me. If someone's asking me how to get a six-pack, they don't have a six-pack. If they don't have a six-pack, they're not at a low body fat percentage. If they're not at a low body fat percentage, they won't be able to see the results of any ab work that they do. That is a far too general dismissal. Ab training is not inherently a bad thing. Having a stronger set of abs, a stronger core, is fantastic, absolutely. What I'm saying is there are very, very few circumstances, if any, where I personally would program ab-specific training over anything else for achieving a goal. Right? For losing body fat? No. Walk, swim, jump rope, run. For losing weight? No. Sort out your eating habits. For getting a stronger core overall? No. You get enough stimulation from deadlifts, squats, weighted chin-ups, exercises that are also working other muscle groups and making better use of your time. In fact, the only isolated ab work I personally believe in the true merits of is working the obliques, because they are less utilised than the rest of the abdominals, but contribute equally to the overall appearance. Oh God. Oh. Hello, puppy. Oh! It's like the inside of my ear. So while ab training is not overall a bad thing, for the vast majority of people, that time that you dedicate to your abs can be far better spent put towards something else. And you can get a damn good looking set of abs without any work at all in that area. So in order to get a six-pack, we need to have a low body fat percentage. And the most efficient way to do that is to put your body into a caloric deficit. For a more comprehensive idea on how to do that, I recommend checking out my video on how to lose weight, which you can find up here or in the description. Your body likes fat. It doesn't like to lose it. This is especially true for guys' bellies. That's why the stereotypical dad beer gut exists. Male bodies like to store fat here, and it's very, very hard to lose it. Typically, you'll find yourself losing fat from almost everywhere else before it starts going here. In order for your body to start losing fat from this area, you need to put yourself in a caloric deficit for an extended period of time. This is difficult, even more so because you can't just starve yourself. If you are not eating enough, your body is going to go, oh no, there's no food, and it will start clinging on to as much fat as it can. It will start panicking and everything's going to be horrible. It will even start cannibalizing muscle in a process called catabolysis. This is not good. To prevent this, you should aim to create a slight caloric deficit within a balanced diet rich in protein, fiber, fats, and a moderate amount of carbohydrates. Again, the most important thing here is the calorie count. As you'll know if you watch my video on how to lose weight, you can lose or gain weight eating nothing but chocolate. Right? It's harder, and your physique will suffer for it, and you eventually die, but you can do it. Calories in versus calories out is once again the law. In addition, to help retain as much muscle as you can, and for less experienced people more so than experienced ones, build new muscle within that caloric deficit, incorporating resistance training into your protocol is a must. You need to say to your body, hey, we need this. This is important. We need more of this, so that when your body looks around for spare energy to use to fuel whatever you're doing, it takes it from your stored fat, which is exactly what we're after. First off, I want to start by saying I do not recommend for anyone to try and do what I did. Losing 20 pounds in 1 month is not particularly healthy or advisable, even if you know exactly what you're doing. More importantly, it's incredibly taxing on the body and certainly not sustainable for an extended period of time. When it comes to your body, the longer it takes to get it, the easier it is to keep it. And that applies to just about everything, good and bad. My recommendation for weight loss is to at most be losing 1 kilo per week. Now, you may have heard that a six-pack is made in the kitchen, and yeah, the diet is certainly the most important factor, but lifestyle and exercise should not be discounted. For me, I restricted my caloric intake to 1,800 calories per day, a balance of 40% protein, 30% carbohydrates, and 30% fats. I estimated this would lose me at about 1.7 pounds per week. Now, these numbers will be different for everyone, and if you want more specific info on that, see the How to Lose Weight video. In addition to that, while still pursuing my standard workout routine, which I'll have a video up on at some point, so look forward to that, I walked a lot. I walked for an hour and a half in the morning and then paced throughout the day. And before bed, I would put on a film on Netflix and I'd walk on the treadmill for the entire thing. Anywhere from sort of an hour and a half to 2.5 hours every single day. This resulted in me losing about 5 pounds per week. I'd estimate about 1.7 pounds from the diet and then 3.3 pounds from lifestyle and the walks. I wouldn't have lost weight on the diet alone, but walking and being active as much as I was encouraged my body to burn more fat than it otherwise would have, enabling me to lose a huge amount of weight while still eating a healthy amount, while still saying to my body, hey, it's okay, there's food, you're getting fed every 3 hours, but we just need a bit more energy, so let's take a little bit from our stored reserves, okay, body? Okay, you fat. That is genuinely my greatest recommendation for anyone who wants to lose weight or burn fat. Walk. At any and every opportunity, walk. You've got something defrosting in the microwave, pace back and forth. Watching a film, walk. Playing your Nintendo Switch, which you won while watching my live stream at www.twitch.tv/06wallst. Walk. Exporting this video? Walk. Your body burns more calories throughout the day by existing, by sustaining itself than most of us ever will through exercise. Standing up, not even walking, just standing up as opposed to sitting down, burns twice as many calories as sitting down. Twice as many? That is gargantuan! I cannot express enough how massive that difference is. Twice! 2 times! Oh my lord, it is ridiculous. Every additional second that you can spend standing up, or better yet walking, as opposed to sitting down, as opposed to being sedentary, is going to pay off massively in the long run in terms of weight loss and fat burn. If you can buy yourself a cheap treadmill, or even the one that just goes at a relaxed walking pace, the difference that you will make by putting that in front of your TV, spending your evening time, right, that you have to yourself in front of your TV, just walking at casual pace every night Maybe you've got an hour to spare, maybe a half an hour, whatever amount of time that you've got. If you spend it walking, the difference you will make genuinely is incredible. You want a six-pack? Do as I do. Fucking bollocks! Here's what I recommend for an average person looking to get a six-pack and keep it long-term. Got 5 steps for you. 1. Download MyFitnessPal. This is a free calorie counting app, and it's one I personally use. What you want to do is enter your details and say that you want to lose 0.2 or 0.5 kilos per week. It's then going to give you an estimate of how many calories you need to eat to achieve that particular goal. I recommend splitting your macros into 40% protein, 30% fats, and 30% carbohydrates. Remember, all of this should be thought of as guidelines as opposed to hard and fast rules. 2. Start logging your meals, keeping track of what you eat. Now, this is fiddly with this app at first, but as you save your previous meals, it will get less bothersome with time. It will also help you intuitively understand your body's reaction to food, your base metabolic rate, and eventually it will enable you to, pretty much like me, you can lose or gain weight at will. Remember that as you lose weight, your body's energy requirement will go down, so it is worth re-entering your details maybe every month, 2 months, just to check that you're still going to be on track. 3. Start walking. The ability to double your caloric expenditure at will is simply an insurmountable asset. There is no greater tip I can espouse to you than to, at every opportunity, stand instead of sit. Walk. Pace around the room, back and forth. At any opportunity, try to be active and up instead of idle. I swear to the Almighty, buying a treadmill and walking on it at a relaxed pace at every single opportunity is going to work wonders for you. If you have a desk job, consider getting an under-desk machine to keep you active, or even a stand-up desk. These things make differences. The prospect of turning your regular sedentary idle time into active time is, in my opinion, the single greatest weapon that you have for weight loss and fat loss long term. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to use some very pessimistic numbers here. I've got someone to help me out. This is Jimmy. Jimmy has a conservative metabolic rate of about 1,100 calories. Meaning by lying down or doing nothing all day like the lazy bumhole he is, he burns 1,100 calories. That's about 90 calories per hour. Luckily, he also eats 1,100 calories per day, meaning he's calorically neutral. He's not gaining or losing weight. If Jimmy converted just 3 hours per day from sitting down to standing up, he'd burn an additional 270 calories. Right? That's good, isn't it, Jimmy? That's about 1,850 calories per week. And let's say that's about half a pound of weight loss per week just by standing up. Not even walking. Weaponizing your downtime is one of the single greatest weapons that you have against fat, against weight that you don't want. Get up. 4. Start resistance training. Having more muscle doesn't just make you look better, it helps prevent injury, it keeps you healthier overall. And in addition, makes it far easier for you to lose weight. Allow me to explain. Muscle is denser than fat, meaning 1 pound of muscle will sit in a smaller space than 1 pound of fat. That same 1 pound of muscle requires more energy to sustain than that same 1 pound of fat. To explain why this is so important, let's conservatively say a pound of fat will burn about 2 calories in a day at rest, doing nothing else, whereas a pound of muscle will burn 6 at rest. Let's take me as an example. At the start of 2020, I weighed 136 pounds. Now, standing here today, I'm about 163. I think it would be fair to say over the past year and a half of training, I put on 15 pounds of muscle. Could be more, could be less, right? With these numbers, with the additional 15 pounds of muscle that I have, I burn an additional 90 calories per day. Now that doesn't seem like much. Maybe you're thinking, oh, that's nothing at all, until you realise that that is passive. It's like training passive regeneration in an RPG. What you have to realise is that because I have 15 pounds of extra muscle, my base metabolic rate is 90 calories more, meaning I burn more calories by sleeping, by talking, by walking, by eating, by jumping, by running, by working out. Every single thing that I do demands more energy, more work from my body than it did before. And this is borne out through my experience. I truly find it shocking how much I have to eat to gain weight. I've been trying to get up to 170 pounds. It's difficult for me. My six-pack's gone. But it's hard to gain weight because I have so much more muscle than I did a year and a half ago. My body functions differently. It uses the energy in different ways. Again, this ties into weaponizing your downtime. There are few greater ways of doing that than by increasing the energy your body needs to do literally everything. My next video in this series will be titled How to Build Muscle, where we'll look into the theory of muscle building, and I'll be sharing my workouts, how I achieved what I did, and what I think people should do when starting out. So if you've got no idea where to start, you can look forward to that. But there are resources out there. You can do what I did. I knew nothing when I started, absolutely nothing. I learned by doing for the most part. Number 5, manage your expectations. Losing fat and weight will and should take a long time. That weight did not get there overnight, and it won't disappear overnight either. In order to get a six-pack, you're going to have to be in a caloric deficit for an extended period of time. If I followed the advice in this video now from my physique right now, I'd expect to take maybe 3 months at a minimum to look like I did here. It takes time. So don't become discouraged if you don't see results within the first week or two. Right? It takes time to learn yourself. It takes time to reach a physique like you want. But the longer it takes you to get something, the longer you invest in something, the longer you will be able to keep it at the end of the day. And when you finally reach a physique that you're happy with, you can shoot for caloric neutrality and try and keep it as long as you want. Before you embark on a journey like this, I want you to be certain about why you want it. A lot of people want a six-pack to look good, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that ambition. But please remember, a six-pack does not mean you're fit. A six-pack does not mean you are healthy. A six-pack does not mean you are strong. I can guarantee you, any natural person will be weaker at a lower body fat percentage than they are at a regular one, at their standard walking around body weight. Thing is, we prize having a six-pack in our culture because we are surrounded by such luxury and such foods that make it genuinely difficult to not be overweight. But this guy has a six-pack, as does this guy. Making changes to your body should be about what's healthy and best for you. Right? And for many a natural athlete, walking around with a six-pack is not the most comfortable or healthy thing for their body. Having a healthy layer of fat here is a good thing. In addition, for those of you interested in making the changes that I have, being in the state you need to be in order to get a six-pack, that caloric deficit, is going to inhibit your ability to grow muscle at your optimal rate. you can still grow muscle in a caloric deficit, especially if you're a beginner. It's certainly possible. Can you do it as quickly as you would whilst eating in a caloric surplus? No. No, you cannot. This is why a lot of people, a lot of lifters go through cycles. They go through a cycle of bulking and then a cycle of cutting, a period where they build as much muscle as they can and take a bit of fat that comes with it, and then enter into a period where they try and cut down and lose as much fat as possible whilst retaining as much muscle as they can, rinse and repeat. And for natural people, this is one of the best ways to achieve a great physique in the long term. But it does mean that you're not going to have a six-pack year round. That's why it's very rare for people to have a six-pack all the time, because it's simply very, very difficult, nigh on impossible, for a natural human being to grow at its peak potential whilst losing weight. So, thank you for watching everyone. I hope you found this video enlightening. Ask any questions you have in the comments, discuss with each other, learn, share your stories, your fitness journeys. I'd love to hear them. Contact me on Discord, send me your before and after pics if you'd like. I'd love to see that. And yeah, if you're interested, the how to lose weight video is up there. Hopefully at some point we'll have the how to build muscle, which will be the completion of this series. And in that video, I'll be hopefully launching my own dedicated fitness platform where I can put my tutorials and various things like that and workout plans and actually start making a decent thing of this. So, thank you very much for watching, and very well, good luck.